To enhance this space a little bit, continue thinking. So you can also talk about this.
I know.
Hosting events, we can actually open both doors itself and they look... Sorry. Hi, welcome to our home. Welcome to my home tour. It's been a long and exciting journey, but I can't wait to show you guys what's inside. Let's start off first with the main door itself. So we've gone with this very rustic, old school charm kind of a gate because we're staying in a rather old development, and this actually ties in nicely with the entire vibe, entire theme over here. So let's head in. Okay, so welcome to the foyer area. Now this area is super nice. Now originally it wasn't like this. Originally there's actually a wall that cuts across diagonally, separating the kitchen from the main entrance. But after discussion with the IDs, we decided to actually hack this particular wall to free up the entire space, to give that spacious look, so that what we can actually incorporate is actually this large French doors, right? So now that we've flushed the doors, it gives us a lot of space. So whenever we have events, whenever we're hosting, we open both doors and it looks like a very grand opening. The foyer itself is also wonderful because above here, you would see this very nice curved feature, right? This was deliberately made because number one, not only is it aesthetically pleasing, it actually draws your attention, which you will see later on, to actually this particular prayer table when you first enter into the house itself. And because this curved ceiling is actually a little bit lowered, once you step into the living room, it actually gives you a feeling of that expansion in the house itself to make it look a little bit bigger, right? Because generally the ceilings here are actually a little bit low. So now this foyer area, it's very inviting. We've created this space with a lot of thought in mind to make the house feel very welcoming. And as a result, we've actually deliberately placed lights at specific areas to make sure that when you're entering the day or when you're entering into the night, it looks very inviting. And when you come in here from the main entrance itself, you see this particular large island or large counter over here. And if you see it from my view later on, it actually frames, right? It's actually like a picture frame, and it actually frames the particular dining room itself. So it looks fantastic when you first open the house, very welcoming. We really love this particular foyer area. It's a place where the kids can play as well. It's also a place when we have gatherings. We have a lot of people standing around this particular island where there's food filled with the table over here. And this just becomes like a communal area for everybody. Not only is it aesthetically pleasing, but I think it's also very functional, right? Not only does it serve as a counter for everybody to gather around, but we have sufficient cabinetry, which is one of the requirements actually to the IDs, to have a lot of storage space inside here because we don't have a storeroom. So by having all these cabinetries over here gives us the ample storage to really put in all our items, all our barang-barang, so that it looks clutter-free. Now this also being a counter where we actually serve food or serve drinks, we also have actually a built-in, not really a built-in, but a space where we can actually hold our wine chiller over here. So this is actually customized, the height, to ensure that we actually fit this wine chiller that can hold up to 19 bottles. And on top of that, we also have our very wonderful drinking system from Wells. Ever since this was installed, I think everyone started drinking a lot more water, especially myself. And the color that we chose would match the entire theme of the house itself. White, creamy, a little bit beige. So I think that ties in really, really nicely. We have already tested this, right? During festive seasons, this whole place will be like a buffet line. You have queues on both sides where everyone just gathers around here, get their food, and then they move to the dining table. So this is what I really, really love about the foyer area. Let's move on next to the living room. And welcome to my living room. And this is my lovely wife, Jessie. Come join me for the tour. So welcome to our very small, cozy living room. Now, because we wanted to have a lot of space and actually make this whole house feel very spacious, I think one of the very things that we did was, design this particular TV console. So together with classic furniture, we actually decided to not go for like the full-length TV console, because then it will look very chunky. It will look like it's an eyesore. So we decided to actually have it suspended, giving it that floating effect and putting some LED strips just below the TV console to make it feel very light and airy. So that's one thing that we decided to do for this particular TV console. The other thing is the colors.
Color?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like lime wash, right? So it's a bit not practical to actually lime wash your whole house lah. So what we did was to find some laminates that is quite similar to lime wash effect, right? So for example, these cabinets here, I think laminates that is lime wash effect, and also the wall that we use, the color on the wall is mashed potato color, which blends in very well with the laminate.
Yeah. So the mashed potato together with all these laminates come together very seamlessly. And what I really like about it being a laminate is that it's very durable, right, as compared to paint itself. So I think having this durability was what I think our IDs had in mind as well, because we have kids. The kids run around, they draw on stuff, they hit stuff. So we need this area to be very, I think, very durable to begin with lah. So this entire, this TV console also allowed me to put in the sound system, right? The sound bar itself fits in nicely together with the subwoofer. And just to have a little bit of a design element, I think we also had some shelving to it's not filled up yet, but soon it'll be filled up. But it's filled up with, we can put in stuff that gives us the memories if you travel. So I think it's very meaningful to have a little bit of a display shelving over here. And the shelves actually run quite deep into the wall. So later on, if you open it, you'll see like it's full of stuff. So this acts as a very, very good storage space as well. Over here, the living room, there's a small space over here that faces the balcony. On normal days, our kids would just hang around the area. They would just play in front of the TV. And whenever it's like the weekend, all of us would just hit the couch. It's a couch is sufficient for like maybe 3 people. We don't have a lot of people generally sitting on the couch. But whenever we have movie nights, we all just bunk in, the sound system around us, television just nicely tucked into this wonderfully designed hole, which is well measured by my ID to make sure that it fits perfectly, as you can see, so that we can enjoy our movie experience, right? So another important thing, which is the lighting. So the lighting, as you can see, we use the same lighting throughout the entire house, especially in the living room itself. And this lighting is actually dimmable. So in the evenings, if we want to create that atmosphere, all we have to do is just dim the light. And it's actually a sunset kind of lighting, a sunset dimming, where it turns a little bit red to give you the effect of a sunset actually. So that whole effect actually creates this entire environment that is super duper cozy. And that's the living room itself. So let's move on to the next area, which is actually the kids playing area. This area, I think, was carved out really nicely by our IDs itself. So currently we have 2 daughters, and this is the area where they actually play with. On this side, we actually have a bookshelf, where they can actually put all the books, and on top we can actually display any items that we want to display. And during the festive seasons as well, when all the kids come here, this is going to be a communal area for all of them. And on this side, we actually have like all the toys. So this is where they'll be playing with all the toys. And I think this area is not only just a kids area at this point of time, but I think it was deliberately discussed with our ID, because I think my wife wanted a space here, right?
Yeah, and so our ID we actually wanted to have like a built-in cabinetry for no more storage spaces, because since we do not have a storeroom. So but they advised us not to have it, because if let's say that we have future expansion and we require the space, they actually told us we have to use furniture instead.
Yeah, so we kept this area open and flexible. So this is also the piano that my daughter uses to practice her piano, and she's facing this very lovely view. So we like it that it's so open, and if there's a need to just move all the loose furniture aside and keep this whole entire area like a big communal space when we have a lot of people coming over. So this is actually this area. Okay, and now we're entering into the dining area. So this dining area, the size of it is actually equivalent to the living room and actually the kids' play area. You can see that we are able to fit in, this is a 2-meter long wooden table that can fit up to about 8 people at any normal days. Another requirement we had for our ID was to create space so that we can actually fit up to 12. So this table itself is extendable up to 3 meters, and even if you expand it, right, it's still enough space to actually sit up to 12 people itself. So I think this is a very this space has actually brought the family closer together, because now everybody is able to eat dinner or eat lunch together at the same time as well. What I really love about this particular space itself is that when we have friends over, when we're hosting events, right, this is the dining area, and this is the area where we fill this place up with all our stuff, our wine, our drinks, all our food over here. And if there's a lack of space, we have this high bar stools over here where we can utilize, when we have gatherings coming over. On normal days, me and my wife, we love to actually take a seat over here. There are PowerPoints on both sides. We can actually sit here, do our work while playing some nice music. So I love this entire space because it's super duper cozy and it's super duper functional at the same time. This particular counter or this particular island itself, instead of making it just a rectangular space, we decided to actually soften the look of it by introducing all these curves, and it's also wrapped with the same laminate, right, as you see below this particular island itself, just to give it that lime wash feel again, just to make it look a little bit softer. But one more thing I need to highlight is this particular tabletop, this countertop. My ID decided that this is going to be the centerpiece of the entire house because it literally is in the center. So we wanted to use a very special material, and my ID actually decided to go with this particular tone, which actually ties in nicely with the whole color. And when you look at it closely, right, it's actually textured. Gives it a super duper nice feel, makes it look super duper nice, and gives it a very luxurious feel. So this is what I really love about it. Alright, ding, ding, ding! This is our kitchen! Welcome, welcome! So originally this kitchen used to be a helper's room. So after consultation with our ID, because we really wanted the space, we did a lot of heavy cooking, we decided to move the kitchen all the way to the back, and that's why you see a very, very nice, very space-efficient kitchen itself. Not only is this a large area to cook, but it's very thoughtfully designed in the sense that it's very functional. If you realize over here, we have the fridge, and then we have this dry cabinetry over here. And why is this dry cabinetry designed in such a way? It's because it's concealing a pipe inside here. So this is actually a fake door, but everything else is functional. Everything else, we store our plates, our pots, our pans, everything inside here, so when we want to access it, it's super duper easy. So you take out the food from the fridge, you cut it open, you unpack it, you wash it at the sink, you cut it over here, you cook it over here, and then you plate, and then out you go through the other access into the dining area. So this is super duper functional for a kitchen setup itself, right? And not only is it functional, it is also very aesthetically pleasing, because my wife will introduce to you the
red color range cooker.
Yeah.
Right, so we stepped into the shop that we actually bought this range cooker. This is love at first sight.
Yes.
The red color is wow, right? So we actually told our ID right there that we wanted this red range cooker, and they got a shock their life.
Yes.
Because how to match this red color, right? And we do heavy cooking, hence the laminates. The cabinetries we wanted to be dark color,
Yeah.
and hence this brown color dark laminate.
Yeah, so it not only conceals all the oil stains, right, but it also looks very aesthetically pleasing because the color all blends together very nicely. And not only that, to make it even nicer, we have a stainless steel backer for easy cleaning due to heavy cooking. And also, to make our kitchen look nice, we have this suede textured quartz countertop. And look at this. This countertop not only holds all my lovely appliances, it comes in the same color as my range cooker. We have inside here the washer and the dryer, making it a super duper functional space. So all you have to do is access the other area to take out all your clothes and hang it on the top over here. So this whole kitchen is functional, that's number one, aesthetically pleasing, and number two, and that is number two. And number three, we also have a very special requirement. We needed to have 2 fridges. 1, 2. Backtrack, yeah, backtrack.
Talking about functionality, right? So our ID actually created a lot of storage space for us. Every inch of the space here is not wasted, right? So we have this L-shaped
yeah, it's a bank corner, so it utilizes everything.
Right to the corner.
Everything. And where? Where are the switches for the lights? Where are the switches for everything? Where are the power plugs? Ta-da! It's actually hidden, right? So you see over here, now you don't have lights, now you have lights. And it's all hidden away from sight, making it very clean. That's what we love about the kitchen itself. That's all for the kitchen. We are back. Okay, so now this is the fridge area. And I think this, even a small area like that, because we have a special requirement where we actually need 2 fridges, but even a small area like this is very thoughtfully thought of, right? Because number one, not only can it hold 2 very large fridges, one for all our frozen meat and one for the other barang-barang, our ID also wanted to turn this space into a very aesthetically pleasing space. So when you realize, what you realize is that the tiles over here is actually different, Peranakan tiles. And the interesting thing about the kitchen, right, is that we don't only have one switch to turn on and off the lights over here. We have multiple switches. So in the night itself, when we just want to access stuff in the fridge, we just turn on one light and there is this nice down light shining on this Peranakan tiles to actually accentuate this whole entire area. And not only that, you can't see it, but above the fridges, right, it's where our DB box is hidden, and there's additional storage. So every inch of space is being utilized. Last but not least, synchronized door, definitely must have. Okay, so now enough of all the common spaces. We're actually heading into the living quarters. First of all, we're met with the common toilet over here. So I just want to come in and show you the common toilet itself is actually very, well, also a space that was very intricately designed, and it's a very narrow toilet to begin with, as you can see. But I would say it's very well designed. First and foremost, this pipe. Actually, this beam over here, there's actually 2 pipes that are concealed within this particular beam itself. And the original layout of the toilet wasn't in this manner. Original layout was the WC was all the way in the back, followed by the shower, and then you had your vanity on the outside. So that space wasn't very efficient, right? Because in order to go to the WC, you had to cross the bathing area. So we decided to actually reconfigure the spaces itself to have the shower area all the way at the end, a larger vanity, and then we had the WC all the way at the end, which actually fits in very nicely. So we had a wall-hung toilet with additional storage spaces above it. So we really maximized the use of every single inch of space over here. Even below the sink itself, when we're talking about the vanity, so the vanity has a full height mirror, you get a full view of yourself, a large sink, and also the same laminate that we use in the kitchen itself, right? This tone of laminate plus the countertop, the sweet textured quartz stone as well, same as what we use in the kitchen. So there's a lot of continuity that flows into the toilet itself. Now for the flooring, we decided to go for something that's really rough, right? Because I have elderly parents over here, we just want to make sure that they don't slip and fall in the toilet. So the texture or the tiles that we use was something that's very textured to prevent any slipping. In order to match that, we want the toilet to, because it's a very small and congested toilet, we wanted it to have a very light feeling. So we decided to go for more white-ish looking tiles, but something with a little bit of design as well, just to tie into the whole theme. And this toilet actually has 3 different configurations of lighting. I'm a person who is very sensual. I need the mood. So for my common toilet as well, I have one light that illuminates the vanity, another light that illuminates the WC and the washing area, and just one light that actually above here conceals the entire pipes. This downlight, which gives it a very luxurious feeling. So we deliberately open the space for the shower a little bit more. I'm quite a big person. I have quite a few friends who are a little bit, same size as me. So when they come here, if they really need to shower here, this toilet is comfortably able to accommodate 2 of us. So that's what I really love about the toilet. And for added privacy, or just to make sure the water doesn't spill out, we managed to put in a glass door over here, a swing glass door, to actually make sure that the water doesn't flow out, make sure no one slips, so safety first. That's what I really love about this toilet itself. Let's move on to the living area, the bedroom areas. Okay, so now moving into the bedroom itself, we come down this corridor. So this corridor is a very well designed space as well. We actually have 3 downlights. Eventually, we're gonna have some paintings over here, and the downlights will just, accentuate the painting itself. And just to make this area going into the bedrooms feel a little bit more cozy, on the top of the ceiling, we actually have this curved kind of a ceiling just to give it a softer look. So right now, let's go into my parents-in-law room over here. Okay, so over here, this is my parents-in-law room. So my in-law stays with me. This is a place where they come in to rest and relax. And this whole length itself, we decided to have it in all, the cabinetry, all their barang-barang, their clothes, and not only that, we actually have requested from them to have this space over here as a bit of our storage as well, because you have a full length of cabinetry. So this is where we store our barang-barang itself. And like I said, every space is not wasted. Over here on the top, we actually have our air conditioner. So we can't have a really big door to swing it open, but they cut the doors into 2 so that we can still access the space above here. Now that shows you how thoughtful our IDs were. So moving in, this cabinetry is actually finished in a laminate of my parents-in-law favorite color. And to just spruce things up a little bit, I think the lighting really played a part. So the lighting was suggested by my ID. We went for this halo lighting from Sol Luminaire. Really creates a nice down effect, and we also had a feature done up at the back of the bed with LED lightings just to illuminate the wall. So if they don't want harsh lighting in the middle of the night, if they want to just unwind, they'll just turn off all the lights and turn on the LED lights at the headboard itself. And even over here in front of them, the display shelving also is illuminated with all the LED. So this is where my in-laws keep all their very interesting pieces from, all his old phones like this. Look at that. All the old phones, he's kept it since he was younger, even a recording device and the old, handphone, Dai is what they call it. Everything is here. So this display shelves really helps him to reminisce his old childhood. And all of the other ornaments that they keep over here, just to make them feel relaxed. This is the personal space for them to unwind. So this is my parents-in-law room. Let's move on to the kids' room now. Okay, so now we're moving on to my kids' room. So this kids' room, if you realize, the flooring itself, right, was the original flooring. And initially we wanted to change the flooring to vinyl, right, similar to the living room itself. But after consultation with our IDs, they actually saw the parquet flooring and it was very old and rustic. They decided to actually keep the look. I was a bit apprehensive at first, but after they did, they polished it, they varnished it, it turned out to be super nice. So that's what we kept with. And the kids' room itself, they suggested that everything should be pretty loose. So all the furniture over here, the double-decker bed, the cabinetry, the storage areas for our helpers, everything is going to be kept loose so that eventually when they go up, we can reconfigure the spaces again. What is lovely that they have made about this room is actually this particular niche. Usually you see a niche is a small one, but this spans the entire length of the room, which I really love, illuminated by LEDs, and so they can put all the barang stuff, eventually when they go to primary school, all the awards and the medals, they can also place it against the wall and look at it as well. So this space is very well thought of, and I also want to draw your attention to the grills. So this is the only room, the kids' room in the house, that we actually have window grills like this for safety reasons. And this was also a point that my ID suggested that, we should have grills and we shouldn't just, it looks nice without the grills, but safety comes first. So I appreciate that, they really take the effort to really think about the safety of our children as well, which is what I really appreciate. So this room, very flexible, can be configured in any way that we wanted. So I really love it. And the lights as well, we used over here, as you can see, 3 downlights just to create that mood. And in the middle of in the night, if my daughter decides to have a light on, these lights are also dimmable. So you can dim it to very, very low settings where, just minimum light, enough for them to sleep, but it's like a night light they can turn on. So that's very thoughtful part for my IDs as well. So this is my kids' room. Let's go on to the master bedroom now. Okay, now we're in the master bedroom, which is of course my sanctuary. Now at the beginning, you will see that there's the partition that we have over here. And the reason why we actually have this partition over here, because if you look from the main door, you can actually look at the bed. So also for feng shui reasons and to make sure that we have privacy, this wall was thought of by our ID itself. You just have a wall just to partition it. Eventually we can hang some paintings here because they very nicely installed a downlight here for any paintings that we want to have. And on the other side, it's actually like an area where we can there's a niche over here, so we can put all our barang, like my wife charges a handphone, we have it over here as well. So that's a very well thought of space, the partition. Now this room itself, it's a mid-sized room, but it comes very cozy, and I think the whole mood flows. Starting with the lights first, we use also the same lightings as the bedrooms. These are called the halo lights. Creates a very nice effect. We're able to dim the lights when we want to, creating a really good atmosphere just before we head to bed. And another thing was this entire wardrobe. I super duper love these shaker type stout wardrobes. My wife fell in love with this when we actually went to Classic Furniture's showroom and we saw a similar shaker design as well. So this gives us a lot of storage space, some drawers over here. Everything is soft closing, and we actually got this very nice brass handles to actually complement this design. The colors were very thoughtfully chosen by our IDs as well. Like I said, my ID is a color connoisseur. His matching of the colors is just spot on, and this is something that I really love. So moving into the room itself, we are able to fit a king size bed right over here comfortably. My preference is actually to sleep against the wall. That's what I personally prefer. So I think we just have a little space, if I really wanted to charge my phones and anything, it will be charged there. But it just fits this king size bed so nicely. And above that, we also have our niche to display, our items. In this case, Lord Savior Jesus Christ. I'm a big fan of Lord Jesus Savior. In this case, our ID has designed a niche above basically our bed. There's a headboard plus a niche on top, as an added design. It's very thoughtful, and I think he went into the details of even positioning the lights so that they created a triangle that intersects with each other nicely. And this is where we put our Lord, our Savior Jesus Christ displayed over there. Okay, so right now let's move into the toilet. So this is an ensuite, and before entering the toilet over here, you will see this full-length glass mirror. This is super useful. Whenever we change, we want to check ourselves out. We don't have to go out to check ourselves out. We have a full-length mirror here, which I totally appreciate. It's not in the standard, just a normal mirror. It's actually tinted, right, bronze color. So it matches together with the whole lighting. Just gives the whole place a very nice vibe. Moving on to the toilet, we actually use the same laminate, right? This lime wash laminate as we use for all the doors in the house, which actually pairs to all the different cabinetries the carpentries in the house as well. And entering to the toilet, wow, this, ladies and gentlemen, is my sanctuary. I spend not a lot of time, but I do appreciate my alone time in the restroom. This is a place where I can actually unwind itself. So I told my brief to the IDs itself is that this space has to feel very relaxing, have to give me a sense of calm and a sense of peace. So what happens is that they design this whole place to look like, almost like a hotel toilet itself. Full-length mirrors, not only full-length, but it's also useful because all the cabinetries are stored behind. We have tons of storage space. And to not make this, along with the theme of feeling spacious, to not make this whole place cluttered up, we decided to do away with the normal shelves below your vanity itself. So we actually have an empty space where we display our towels. In fact, I'm so particular about the toilet. I actually have a speaker in the toilet so I can listen to music when I shower. And we also have some additional space over here, right, where we can store all our other stuff. So not is it only aesthetically pleasing, but it's also very functional, which ties into the entire theme of the house. Now, For the WC itself, we actually had a bit of a different design. We went with a different theme. So as you can see, this WC area is actually surrounded by darker tiles, right? Darker tiles mimicking the wooden grains itself. So I wanted this area because I wanted to display some stuff or maybe some positive sayings. And we went for a wall hung toilet because we have to shift, right, the orientation of the WC itself. Very, very well thought of. It separates the whole WC area from the vanity itself. And what's behind here is actually the shower. Let me show you my amazing shower. Come on in. Alright, everybody, I have to say, if there's any one place in the house that I would retreat to and feel the most peace, it has got to be the shower area. This is I truly feel that, you know, the shower area is like really a time that I can really unwind. So I told my IDs that I really want this space to relax and make me feel like it's in a spa. So what happened is that they gave me a huge shower. I'm not too sure whether you can see, but this space is huge, you know? It's super huge and I love it. It's so spacious. And not only that, instead of just having like a normal rectangular wall, the IDs decided to make it a little bit softer as well. And they introduced this curved feature over here, which I tremendously am fallen in love with. It takes a lot of work to do this. And we also opened a very nice niche to put all our toiletries. Of course, you know, for the video purposes, we only put 2, but actually we have quite a lot. And the LED lights basically illuminate this particular area. So my particular shower itself is a rain shower that comes with this, right? Because, you know, sometimes my wife, she doesn't want to wash her hair, she uses this to wash her body itself. And I also have a rain shower over here, which is the feature that I totally love. It gives me a lot of comfort when I'm showering at night. And the toilet itself, believe it or not, the ID suggested 3 different mood lightings, and when I heard about it, I was over the top because he totally knew what I wanted, right? So there is actually 3 different configurations in this toilet itself. The first configuration is right now when all the toilet lights are on. Second configuration is when this LED is illuminated together with, you know, the WC. And when I'm showering, imagine this, everything is dark. The LED is illuminated in this niche itself, and I just shower. It just brings you so much peace. And last but not least, one other the last lighting is you basically have this down light coming in from the shower area, and also the vanity. So 3 different light modes just for the toilet itself. And I'm crazy enough to switch the different light modes when I'm, you know, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm using the vanity, I'll switch on one. This is how I like my toilet to be. And they have 100% achieved the kind of effect that I was looking at. From the material selection, you know, the towel, the color of the towels, the color of, you know, the vanity, the color of the WC itself, everything, so much thought has been put into this particular toilet itself. We even actually, just a fun fact, we actually expanded the toilet, right? A part of the toilet was actually covered by cabinetry, you know, the older designs. We hacked away the cabinetry, we expanded the toilet, we pushed out the vanity just to have a little bit more space and just to make the toilet a little bit more spacious. So this is truly my favorite part, if there's anything, of the house. Let's go head back up. Okay, now I'd like to take you to a wonderful part of the house, which is actually our balcony. This is one of the reasons why we actually bought this place, because of the view itself. And let me show you, right? We have this very nice cream-colored slide and swing doors, like that, to expose the entire view, and the entire breeze just comes into the house. It really gives the house a very nice vibe on windy days. Now this balcony, we wanted it to be a little bit different, right, from the entire house itself. So on the floors, you would realize we actually use the same tiles as what we did in the fridge area in the kitchen itself. And, you know, our IDs initially suggested, hey, you know, since you have 2 kids, why not you have, you know, some zip track or some safety blinds. But after some discussion and after some pushing back, I think we eventually agreed that we wanted to keep this area open first because we really enjoyed the view. And in order to keep it a little bit kid-friendly, we only have a table without the chairs. So if we really wanted to have a coffee here and chill here, we will actually take the chairs from the bar counter and we just place them here so that we don't keep the chairs here, you know, just in case the kids climb out, right? So this is a very nice space. Whenever our friends come over here for gatherings, the first place they will come to is the balcony. Why? Because it's super duper open, very windy. See, the door almost slammed, very windy. And they really love the house because it just gives it a very old school Peranakan vibe that you don't get anywhere else in the house itself. So this is the balcony area, super lovely, and the color, of course, of the wall itself is also in mashed potato to tie in with the theme of the entire house as well. So this is the balcony. So thank you for joining us. We have come to the end of our tour. I think just to end off this entire tour, we really want to give a shout out to our IDs at Classic Furniture. They've really done a fantastic job. They've worked with a very short timeline, worked with us who don't know what we really want, worked with this whole space which is rather old and a lot of things needs to be reconfigured and a lot of issues were coming out. So to go through this whole thing within a short period of time and make us feel very included in this process, it really feels like, you know, we and our ID has turned this house really into a home, a place that we can really call our home itself, right, Jessie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you want to say anything to?
I think it's very comforting to know that, you know, this whole process is very smooth, right? No hiccups because everything is being managed very quickly if there is.
Yeah, I think not only managing us, right? To have a seamless process and to make us feel like this whole process is seamless is already a skill. But sometimes in renovation, I think you also have to manage your neighbors and the MCSD as well.
Yeah.
So there were certain points of time where our ID had to step in to manage this whole thing to make sure, you know, all the complaints were taken care of. So I think they really just go above and beyond just being a project manager. They really care for you. So we're really, really pleased with this journey, and we really couldn't be happier with this outcome. The first time we came to the house, when all our kids came in, it was like, it really felt like home. So we, from the bottom of our hearts, we really like to thank our IDs who have journeyed with us through this particular phase of our life. We are very thankful. So thank you so much, and thanks for watching. Okay. Oh shit. So welcome to our very yes. All cozy live.
I'm sorry.
Dang dang.
I thought we said don't say that.
Ah!